Alright. I think it's working. I'm going to confirm this. I've not streamed in a while. So I'll just catch maybe we'll catch the real world. Okay. I'm not sure. I think my voice is good enough. It's hitting, well, it's in the green. Maybe if I put this a little bit more in front of my face, that might help a little bit. Okay. Let me double check. New computer here. Well, new CPU, motherboard, those types of things. Just want to make sure I'm actually streaming. Oh yeah. I've not streamed in a while. Well, thanks, Frank. I'm streaming now, and I know how to not get your voice. That's perfect. That's right. So you guys might hear me talking to someone else on Discord, but I'm not catching the Discord audio. So if I am talking to someone else, that is what's going on. Definitely test it. Okay, so I have not working. Wow, Dark Bell, hello. Okay, I have the new OBS set up and everything too, so I actually can see chat much easier. And the quality should be better. Okay. Alright, so this is Dissension here. I lit up the wrong one. Give me a second here. I'm going to turn down Discord a little bit. Okay. I really haven't coded ARM in a long time. So I'm going to try to sit down and actually do something today. I need to get back in the swing of things. I want to update VCOM. I want to work on Dissension. Arma 4 is not coming out anytime soon. So I decided I got to get back into it and just start doing things. And when I would stream, at least it would encourage me to sit down and do some things. Alright, let me get the chat back up here. Okay. So I think we got that. Got my music. I'm just going to try just kind of talking about what I'm doing, what I'm seeing. So this is Dissension right now, and I'm going to kind of load in and show what I have. Dissension is going to be a capture the island style game. That's going to be done a little bit differently than other CTIs where there's AI commanders on the three sides that make calls, decisions, what to do, and the players are kind of the cogs in the machine. One of the reasons why I want to do that is because I really enjoyed back in Arma 1, where a lot of the missions felt like you were just a cog in the machine. You just had to do your job, get out. You weren't some superhero saving the world, and that really was, well, was a fun experience for me. I feel like Arma 2 and Arma 3 kind of lost that. So I'm going to try to, I want to recreate that experience on my own with what I think Arma does best, which is a big combined arms game. And so I really want to try to capture that. So I have it set up right now where this is just on Livonia, and it has all these towns and things. So I'm blue 4, so I can see where we start. And we have an HQ already, and there's not too much done quite yet. But what I want to do is really set up some structure on how to attack towns. So far what I have is, let me go and create a structure here. So it's going to create the barracks in the town. Yep, there it is, it's right here. So there is the barracks, and then so with the barracks, then we can do some basic attacks with the commander right now. Right now I'm kind of controlling everything they do. But I'm just showing this. So right now what I have is they can target the towns, figure the towns they want to target, and then they will actually figure out where the staging grounds are. Oh, they're targeting this one here. You can see right here. This is kind of the staging area they want. This is kind of grid coordinates to walk around the town without having to engage into the town. Maybe an overwatch position. And then these little red squares are the buildings that they would have to capture to capture the town. Okay. And they'll spawn in a troops. Let me enable this here. Hello, Tyler. It's been a while. Yeah, I'm trying to get back into Arma coding. It's been a while since I really sat down and did any, so I'm trying. So then I have some basic stuff right now where the squad will spawn. This is a scouting squad. They'll go and they'll scout whatever is in the town market, and then based off of what they scout is what they do from there. So I want that set up kind of realistic. I would say realistic, a more strategic attack on the town. So you have the scouting squads that go up, and then so they're going to go and scout, and then we're going to have the groups that follow up after that, that attack the town. And so I'm going to use an FSM for this. Alright, now I have a script. I think when I left off I have a script that is just really ugly, so I'm going to try to break this up into an FSM to make it just handle a little bit better. So, okay, so we're going to back out of this entirely. Tyler, you still working on Arma and doing your group things, or what's the status of that? You can send it to me in Discord too if you don't want to put it in the chat. Okay, so we're going to start with an FSM here. This is going to be the Scout Town FSM, so this is what's going to control the scouting team going. I'm going to try to convert this script into an FSM just because it'll make it a lot easier on my eyes to understand. FSMs just are much easier logistically. Oh, there's two Tylers. Oh my goodness. Hello. Okay. So, this is going to take me a moment because I have not coded in a while. And if I can get this up and running, and then I'm going to add VCOM to it, which will give me really good, motivation to actually work on VCOM some more, update it, fix a lot of things that need fixing, or just modernize it because VCOM is old. So that needs some fixing. And in the past several months, Raheem has actually added some nice commands. So we are going to, yeah, okay, perfect. I took a step back for a while, just getting back in Arma, playing on SB with NRH6. Oh, cool! NR6, isn't that some kind of AI? Wait, what is that? My initial reaction was that was some kind of AI system. Like a really smart dynamic reinforcement. Yeah, it's like an AI spawning thing. That's really cool. Mission creator, cool. Yeah, I took a step back for a long time too, obviously. So I need to not do that. So this begin assault function here is going to handle the FSMs really. That's what I'm thinking, at least to start it. We'll see, this is going to change. I have not touched this in so long, so remind everyone that I am in a Discord, so if I sound like I'm talking to someone else randomly, that's probably it. Their voice isn't coming through, so just be aware of that. Or I could be talking to myself. Whatever works better. Yeah, the commander thing. Remember, I think we were talking about that before, Tyler. Let's do... okay. Let's do this. This is like, feels really strange, like riding a bike almost. So what I'm going to do is to convert this over, we're going to just pass all this data through we're going to pass all this data through. I gotta refresh my memory here because I think FSMs do completed FSM. Oh, look at that. Checks whether FSM is completed. Okay, so we can do that. There's FSM variables, which is good, so we can interact with these. Okay, gotta refresh my memory here. So, a lot of this should be relatively quick. So the first thing we need to do is, first thing that needs to be done is to scout the AO. So we need to scout the AO. So let's take this. I'm just going to delete this straight up. And then I'm going to delete these right now. Didn't you do some work for SOG? I did do. I created a mission for the SOG. Well, just with the mod. I don't work with the team at all. But I did talk to the developer, or some of the workers in there. Yeah, some of the Anastasi people. I like to fiddle with Arma, but I'm not really integrated into the community. I kind of describe myself as like the Arma community I view as fairly in like a community together. You know, the developers kind of know each other, they talk, they exchange all the time. I'm more like the guy in the woods in the mountain who smells and lives in the cabin, who maybe can do some cool things, but like I'm off on my own. And that's just I don't know really why. I think I just really haven't worked with anyone before in Arma. So okay. We are going to start with the scout. I'm coding some Arma. Okay, so what we need to do, we pass the commander data, which has all the information about like fighting styles, all that. So we got to define some variables first. So we'll just go ahead and let's see, what would be more sufficient? We can define some of those variables here, I think. Just right in this first one. So the first thing we need to pull is kind of the resources, yeah, the town data. These are things that can be passed through. I think FSM to FSM. Yeah, I think so. So what we'll do first is pull this out. A lot of this code will actually transfer over pretty nicely here. So this is going to pull up the commander resources. This tells us the manpower and resources we have. Dissension has just two basic resources right now, manpower and resources. Instead of dividing them up between like metal and ammo and blah blah blah, they're just resources and manpower. How many people can you get to the front line, and how many weapons can you put in their hands? Hills have eyes. That's right. That's me. I kind of view myself as, I don't know if anyone else is like, oh man, it's probably aging myself a little bit. I used to play StarCraft 1 a lot back in the day. So I kind of view myself as the Terran, where I can get some things to work and things to blow up pretty, but it's really janky. Just very to the point. I've had a lot of people ask me how I got vehicles to not crash into things. And sorry, I was listening to someone in Discord. And so they asked me, hey, how did you get vehicles to not crash into walls and things? You must have this really complex math and blah, blah, blah. And I said, no, I spawned in a physics object because Arma is afraid, any AI in a vehicle is afraid of physics objects. And so if you just put like a can anywhere and make it, you know, just put a can down as physics, then they will avoid it, the plague. That's all I did. Hello, Comrade Angel. I am building a commander AI who's going to assault the town. So right now I'm setting up the scouting team that's going to go scout the AO, and we're going to test that, make sure that works well. That they mark targets, and then we'll add in, based off the information the scouting team gets, then they will either call on artillery, mortars, or all that information to get the assault ready. So I'm creating a system that an AI group can attack a town a little bit more intelligently. But we're going to start off a little bit slower. Just start with basic infantry first, and then we'll up it from there. Alright, so first we want to do is we're defining some more information here. So we have enemy town information, we'll have the friendly town information. This is the town where the infantry usually are going to be spawning from. So we're just kind of defining some variables here. Yeah, I had this a long time ago, like in Dissension. I have a Dissension old version out there, but the AI wasn't as intelligent as I wanted them to be. And I'm definitely not looking to make it realistic. I'm making it make it be strategic. It's kind of like VCOM. VCOM's not made to be realistic. It's just made to be more strategic, more fun. AI still do stupid things, but sometimes it's those stupid things into some amazing firefights. Okay. Make sure the town is marked as under attack. The little trick here is that I can't do sleeps in an FSM. So that is definitely a tricky thing to figure out, but I think we'll get there. We can trick it some other ways. Okay. So what we're going to do is define all these variables. So we're going to mark the town as being attacked. Once that's done, we're going to move forward here. And we're actually going to do a... Pause one. We'll do a pause here. We'll do a pause for town spawn. So we want the town to be able to spawn in. It's anti-air. It's AT. Any vehicles it has, they're defending it to spawn in appropriately. But so I want to pause the whole thing and wait while that happens. So we are going to give it a good like 10 seconds. Make sure this works. And so what we're going to do with our fancy little box here is, so we can see what's happening. Here. So we're going to do... This lets me know, this puts out code here so I can see what's happening. So we're going to, man, I need to change this so I can see more of this box. There we go. This. Sweet. It's going to be very important that we have lots of debug code for this, because this is going to be a little bit more complex. So we're going to be targeting this enemy town. Hang on, so let's pass this enemy town. We're going to be... Oops. Defensive units. Town. Okay. Okay. Do you think the music is a little too loud, I think? Let me turn that down. World music. I actually try barotrauma music. I had a friend tell me that barotrauma music's pretty good. It's kind of creepy though. Some creepy music. Here we go, let's try this one. Oh, that's kind of creepy. I don't know, you just can't beat RimWorld music. Let's turn it down. Okay. Alright, so this will spawn in the town here. And then we will move on to, I'm going to make this a little bit easier to read. There we go. And then once they spawn those in, I gotta set up the staging area. Oh, some more variables we need to put in here. We should have something pretty soon to actually show. Commander data, params, fighting style. So like each commander has a fighting style, a force focus. So fighting style could be guerrilla, could be frontal, just full, I don't know, rushing style, very defensive in nature. Force or artillery focus. Force focus is kind of like the artillery focus, aircraft focus, infantry, light vehicle, heavy vehicle focus. They usually will field more of those. And then the targeted zone is what they're currently, well, targeting, right? Trying to fight. And right now it's getting, this is a debug code right here. I'll need to delete this later. This prevents them from focusing on the same, like, attacking the same target over and over again. And then we set a commander data, set 2 targeted zones, wonderful. Okay, so this is just setting, set targeted zones, wonderful. These are just examples of the types of specializations they can have. Okay. Now we need to spawn the scout squad, is what we need to do first. So we're going to compile a list of all the structures that we need to reference. So these are all the structures that the commander can build. So HQs, barracks, light factories, advanced barracks, heavy factory, air factories. And so we want to make a big compiled list of all of these. We'll do another debug here. We can see all the ones that the commander sees. Boop-a-doop-boo. Okay, we can get rid of this and that. Now, do I have this commander resources? I'm just double checking. Commander resources. Do I have? Oh, it's right here. Okay. Yep. So I got that. We are going to put this right there. Okay. Write down the commander resources. FSMs aren't the best to have all this code in here. But right now I just need to get it organized. So then now, once we get the manpower defined, so now we have the manpower defined, gets defined right here. And so we need to do a check before we even do any of that of low manpower. So if the manpower is too low, we can't even attack. And so there's not enough troops to field, you can't attack, right? So right now I'm just going to do a basic count of 12. If you're less than 12, you're not attacking anything, or even scouting. So we're going to mark that down. And this can, all these numbers can be changed later as well. So, and then we will just exit from there to create what's called an end state. Exit attack. At that point, we are going to targeted zones. Pull the commander data again, and then we'll remove it from the targeted zones as well. I'm gonna have to actually re-get the entire. Let's see. So there's this thing that goes prepare. Find assault points. Here we are. So this should have commander. Let's see, commander data in there. Because we execute prep for assault. Where do we execute prep for assault? The kind of downside to not knowing exactly. Oh no, prep for assault's the other one. Okay, I'm looking for begin assault. Okay, wrong function. Where do we execute begin assault? Under capture targets. Okay. Okay. Yeah, all the warp zones. Someone's playing Mario. Okay, so this pulls the commander data. We can pull his targeted zones, and we can actually. And I'm gonna do this. Actually, no, this should be fine. You know, I'm just gonna be lazy with this. I'm just gonna remove it from that array. Reset that array. And then reset that variable for that commander. Okay. Commander data true. Okay, perfect. So this will remove that zone from being targeted as well. And we will have multiple of these that will either delete troops or do whatever we need. So if there's not enough manpower, it immediately exits. This gets checked first, it's priority 1. This is priority 0. So as long as the manpower is greater, is greater than 12, then they will continue the attack. And then we will even have a debug code here. It's action. We'll do boarding assault, not enough manpower. Okay. So as long as I have manpower, I'm gonna go up here. We wait 10 seconds for the town to actually spawn. This also allows me to like delete the town and get things set up, right? So then it will spawn in, and then we go ahead and start figuring out where all our structures are, which is good. So I'm just double checking some things here. Okay. Let's get debug code in there. Maybe a lot of debug code here. Okay. Let's spawn a scout. Scout squad. Alright, then we're going to. I'm trying to remember this. Man, this has been a while. So we get the structures defined. Now we need to get the scout teams defined. So some of this is we're going to take. So there's going to be the scout teams. Scout teams class names. So we're defining the scout team class names that they use. Do I use this variable? No. Okay. We'll pull define costs. Do we use spawn points? No, we don't use this either, so delete that. We do use the scout group vehicle leader. Okay. Yep. Well, you create dialogue, like use the basic like art resource display empty or something like that, and you have to add controls to that. I don't know if we need this. Okay. FSMs make things so much easier. Okay. So we're gonna get this working to see the scout team spawns. So famous. Let's see here. I think it's actually you want to do create dialogue or create. Hold on. Let me take a look. Let's create display. That's it. All right. So we do this thing to check. Okay, we have to see if we have barracks, if we have light factories, advanced barracks, all those things. So, and the physical resources that we have. How do I want to do this? I'm trying to think. Well, okay. Right now we'll keep it pretty simple, but what I'm thinking of is having it based off of the defense numbers. Oh, hold on. How do you display? It should just be if you hit escape, it should go away. If we have barracks, no advanced barracks. Okay, because it depends on the buildings that we have. So if we have barracks, we don't have any advanced barracks, no light factories, but as long as we have more than 10 resources, we can do this. Is that okay to do that? I think that's okay for now. Yeah, I think that's going to be okay to do for now. So we will just copy these here. This is just barracks and light factory. FSMs always took so long to load here. Very nice. Oh, is that? Did I break that? Oh, there it goes. And this is barracks, light factory, and advanced barracks. FSMs do not like that. Okay. I might actually have to develop it in the Notepad++ side by side and then copy it over, I'm thinking. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Boom. So far we have this. Okay, let's just start with that. And all these. I'll leave some things here and behind that we might need later, but okay, here's another check. So we're gonna do all these. calculate all this information, and then if we still don't have any of the Scout Squad class names defined, like this, then we need to exit the function as well. So we'll do no scout team possible. So essentially what we do is we come back to here. If the count of the class names for the scout teams is 0, then we will exit again. Condition of 1. Action. Aborting assault. We'll do no scout team possible. Okay. And then we will, this will be another true condition. Actually, I'll do that. So then as long as they can pass, then we'll move over to this. And then we can, let's do the next section now. We're gonna find a place to spawn the basic units. So this is gonna be a little tricky. So first thing we need to do is find the closest barracks, which we defined here in this previous script. And then we need to find a place to spawn them. All this code should be fine. They get this group, they call in, trying to find a better safe position. Da da da, they create the units. I don't think there's a sleep in here. This is if scout squad vehicles. So I'm trying to remember the scout squad vehicles. Scout squad vehicles. Where did we define that? Okay, right here. Scout. Sorry. Scout squad vehicles. Oh, okay. I do define it up here. Okay. And that gets defined with the. Okay, got it. Making sure this is all correct. Alright, so as long as there is a class name. Class names in this array, then we create vehicles as well. Blah, blah, blah. Looks like that all is good. It's all good information. Okay. Spawn units. So then we want to, oops, spawn the units. So this is what this is doing. And then also if there are as a UAV group, we also want to spawn in them as well. And then we will of course charge also in there. We will make sure we withdraw the money appropriately. Okay, and this is, we're gonna put this in here. This is the resources that they start with, and just for testing I'm going to give them a lot. Resistance actually starts with negative resources right now. So they can't just spawn a bunch of guys in the beginning, because they're going to have a lot of towns, but we will worry about that later. Okay. So now we've got this, and we charge the side, the units are created. So wonderful. At this point, the units are created. So there should have been nothing holding them back from being created. Okay. Now we can start with handling the units. we are going to do scout handle loop. So now they need to find the assault points. So the first thing we're going to do is find the assault points. Perfect. And then there's this code here that if there's a vehicle or not. So this is where the FSM is going to get a little different. So actually, I wonder if I should break this up. No, this all kind of needs to be one right now. This is just, yeah, this all needs to be one. That's okay. And then scout handle. So they're going to come here. They're going to create the assault points, and then now we need to do a couple things here. So we need to go. Let's see. Has transport a true condition here? No transport. This is pretty one. So if they have transport, then obviously they're going to handle this differently. So we're going to first create the assault points, and then essentially if is null, scout. If not is null, there we go. The scout group vehicles means that the vehicles do exist, and we go this route. If not, then we just go this route. So we will. That was a pretty cool convoy. Okay, so they have a vehicle. We also need to do a drone check before we do anything else. So, taking this, so it looks like, okay, we do a drone check. Drone check. So this is going to be priority 1 here right now. So if they have a drone, yeah, so they have a drone. The first thing we want to do is tell the drone to boop, give them a waypoint to the front line. Oh, we need to also, I want to set its flying height. Flying height. Oh, I thought I said its flying height. Am I wrong on that? Oh, I did. So they got a drone. We give the drone some orders. Go ahead. Tradition. No drone. Let's see. Actually, is this fine? Yeah, we'll get to that. So the drone check. Okay. I'm trying to think of how to optimize this. Oh, I closed my chat. Sorry. Why covered if some code that works? So Dark, that's a good question. Or is it a performance thing? Because it runs in a scheduled environment. So the problem with it is that the script is big as is, and it's more of a visual. It's more on the human end and things. So I can more easily come in here and edit and change things. And if there's a piece that's not working well, it's much easier for me to cut things out in the code in FSM and reorganize here than it is to do it in the script. Because this is a bunch of text and it's not as visual as I try my best, but it gets tough. But if I break it into FSMs, it gets much easier to manage more complex, because there's a lot of complex interactions in here. And so they all interact differently. Basically, you have a barracks, light factory, heavy factory, air factory, all these artillery, like how they call in artillery, all these variables are going to come into play. FSMs make it much easier to manage really complex, very complex interactions. And so that's why I'm doing that. So I had my chat closed there. I guess that a little while ago. So that's why. It does take a little bit of translating, and it's not inherently faster. And in fact, it can introduce problems if you don't know what you're doing. But it's to make the code a lot more organized, so that way I know it makes it much easier to edit things. It's like 8K lines, jeez man, yep. It gets hard with, yeah, it just gets hard visually. I would agree. I did some Lua coding for like Project Zomboid, and fortunately you can break them up in different Lua scripts, but yeah, it gets tough. I definitely won't lie. And so I was doing this in the script like, I can do it, I can handle it, you know, I can add these big blocks and all these things, but ultimately at the end of the day it's like, no, I cannot. I can't handle that. That's just too much. Okay. Where am I at now? Move to pause. I'm just going to find some more variables here. Okay, we're going to get the scout group moving to the transport. And then now, instead of having to use await until, I can do constant checks of dead group. I can check to see if they are close to transport. And then we'll have kind of, this will be my debug here as well. Let's see. Time is greater than. Ooh, I'm putting this in the wrong spot. And time is greater than tdebug. Okay, and this needs to get defined like here. Define some debug code. Okay. And this makes it a lot easier now, so I haven't developed if null is null checks, I can kind of make branches of branches here. This will start to look like a tree as we go on. Okay. So debug text here. Let's add this code. Essentially what we're checking is if the leader of the scout group vehicle is less than 25 meters. Oh, that's too close. So this is going to be a lower priority, this would be a higher priority. Higher priorities get checked first. So, for example, if for both. If the unit number of units alive in the scout group vehicle or the scout group itself are less than 1, then we need to do a whole new sweeping branches here. Oops. Someone died. So for example, say you, and this is something that the script doesn't support over here, and so say if someone dies, like the transport vehicles, yeah, like an end goal, yeah. So what are you planning with Dissension as a whole? So Dissension as a whole is something that I want to be able to sit down. Why do I have 2 groups? I want to just be able to sit down and just play and enjoy myself. So the end goal is going to be, before I even add any player mechanics, is going to be 3 AI commanders that fight each other through virtualization, through that they can go from start to finish with a war using combined arms, all by themselves without any player input. That means using artillery, responding to enemy forces, you know, making it look like they have somewhat of a brain. So that's the whole goal. Like if you wanted to, you could just open up the map and watch. You can be a spectator and just watch the war unfold. Maybe like a civilian slot, you can just watch all sides fight. So that's the goal right now. Now there will be a virtualization system eventually, but right now there's none of that. There will have to be, because there will be a lot of, you'll kind of see as we go. But that's the end goal. And then the players get to pick to play on Blue 4 Resistance or Op 4, and they get to kind of impact the game. You know, just go play. They can do missions. There'll be a leveling system like the old Dissension. There'll be all these kind of unique gameplay mechanics. Think of it more of like a war sandbox, except that I want the world to feel a lot more alive, as in you're running around and stuff's happening regardless if you're there or not. Yeah, so kind of like Alive, but a lot more. One of the things that, at least in my experience, and I was talking to one of the Alive guys just recently, but one of my experience with Alive is that as for the typical player just playing, I've been in a lot of clans and groups, or whatever you want to call them. Alive does a lot of wonderful things, it's pretty good, but it doesn't do a good job of communicating that information to the average player. And not saying they should. Like if I was playing Alive, open up the map just looks empty. I'm just running along, and I just ran into a group of troops. I don't know why. I don't know why they're there. And maybe that's just the missions, you know. I know people can build more complex missions, but it just seemed very like Zeus could have done the same thing. Hey, Jaka. So I want to do that myself, but you know, as a player, you can look at the map and go, "Oh, these guys are attacking here. They're trying to capture it. Oh, I can tell that this is where they're setting up. This is where the mortars are. This is how the, you know, it just kind of makes it really a lot more immersive. So I'm trying to make a much more immersive experience, and where you're just kind of thrown into this chaotic world. So that's the end goal. So it's the immersion part's really important, I think, for my attention span and grabbing a player. Is when someone joins Dissension and they load up and they open the map and it's empty, or it just has a couple markers down. You know, they go to a town, they just see AI standing around, but they don't know that those came from somewhere, that they were actually, you know, spawned for a reason, or they, you know, they just make it very clear. Doing all right, man. I'm just enjoying my Sunday, working on Arma since I haven't worked in a long time. Yeah, Alive is very complex. I just wish it would do a much better job of communicating. I know there's ways to see it, don't get me wrong. I know you can code it in, but I wish like by default there's ways you could see that. Yeah, I could see that. NR6 Hell Commander, that kind of cool stuff. Yeah, and that's a big deal. It's a really big deal, is to have it be upfront and visible. How you doing, Jaka? You know, to have my actions as a player have visible consequences is really important. If I go to protect a town and I fail, and then the marker flips from green to red because Op4 took it, you feel that as a player. You don't need much more than that. Or if you go to a town, you take it, turns different color, you know, feels good. Or you see that little supply marker you see on your end, as you know, say you're playing blue 4 and you see a bunch of supply trucks running back and forth, you go, I bet Op 4 Resistance have supply trucks too. And I bet they run kind of similarly. So then you go as a player to go set up to ambush these supply trucks. And then you can see the towns not get as strong. You can see that impact. And so the goal is to have players impact the world how they want. You know, you're not going to be forced to do anything. You can be aircraft, infantry, tanks, whatever. So just has issues. Yeah. Yeah. Jocko, you got a cold. Well, maybe my soothing voice can bring you to sleep. This is why I love FSMs, because now I can go now I can do things like, okay, well, if someone died, if one of the groups died, in this dead group check here, then I can split it up and go, oh, okay. Now we can kind of even further differentiate between what happened. So if the scout team is dead, then we should just halt this initial attack. So we just exit the attack in full. Just halt it. We're done. And then I'll have to come in here and like add cleanup scripts later, but yeah. Alive is a huge framework too, and since the devs don't work on it anymore, really, it's not aging as well. Oh, I didn't know they weren't working on it anymore. I mean, I don't blame them. Arma is old. And then we can do things like, now we can continue without transport, and this one will just hook into no transport, probably. We'll do that, we'll worry about that in a minute. So we're going to assume that no one dies. Let's continue the script. Oh, okay. Let's check out the Hell one. The Hell one was really cool. I remember that was kind of starting to be developed when I was starting or stopping Arma. And that's one of the issues with a really complex system. I'm a big believer of simplifying things, so if something's over-engineered, it's heavy, it's hard to go in there for someone else to pick up. Yeah, I think about FSMs is it makes it really easy for anyone to come in here and modify or update or do whatever they want, which is nice. Yeah, but no one works on it, yeah. Okay. Jock, could you get some soup? Could I get you some nice soup? Okay, this is the code to execute once. I get close. Okay. So now we need to do it if the group does not have a vehicle. I feel like I missed something up here. If the group has a vehicle. Oh, it's right here. Okay. So we have no transport. Move to front line. It's kind of the same thing here on this side as well. So let's move to the front line. We do a drone check. It's very similar, and I can easily copy and paste these because they could not have transport, but still have a UAV, right? I don't know how it happened, but just in case. Hey, live zone has hundreds of out. Yeah, yeah. I mean, over-engineered is a problem. It's called feature creep. Our editing goes pretty good, Jock. Thanks. I'm trying to get back into the swing of it, be more consistent with it. I'm I'm trying to manage my time better, like not play Hunt Showdown, other games for like 4 hours. Okay, I don't play that long, but you know, play like 30 minutes or an hour of a game and then do like at least some coding. And I want to stream more, even if just for an hour or two more frequently, just kind of randomly. Title view. When one handles the strategic view and through, it could be awesome. Okay. Yeah. And that's kind of, I'm trying to make a mini version of that into a mission. Like for Dissension, this is going to be a CTI that, and I'm going to reuse a lot of the old stuff I had from the other one for the player side of things, but the AI will be completely revamped where they respond to players better, they handle everything. Virtualization will be much better so frame rate doesn't tank. I'm going to be very careful with how I use vehicles, because vehicles just destroy frame rate in Arma. So. And then, okay, so then if there we go. So we can do this. Boom. So now this already looks a lot. Let me make this smaller. Whoop. Ah! Come back. This already looks a lot better. I know maybe it looks still confusing, but this is a lot easier to manage. So I have this whole side now for just the scouting if they have transport. We do a drone check, we do all this debug. We added some debug code here. Okay. So now we got all this done, and now we're gonna have a place where these are gonna converge now, because it doesn't matter how they get there once they get there. We know, okay, they made it to the right location. So Juki is watching. Hi, Frank. I'd say it's bad when the devs don't even know what's going on anymore. Yeah. Yeah. Alright. So once they get there, the vehicle has made it to the correct location. Okay. So really what we're doing, I think I can even simplify this, I think. We're doing a check. Once to staging area. So they're going to go to a staging area first. And then, or we're going to check if the vehicle's dead. So we're going to check if the vehicles are dead, which is the top priority. It's the same one. The condition is over here. Oh, I didn't even put this what? I didn't put the conditions in there. Whoops. I should probably fix that. Okay, so same condition as this, so if the vehicles are dead, then we're actually going to assume that the scouting team just got straight up killed. So if they're riding to the location and the vehicles are dead, then the attack is done. Oh, where's my? I need to add my debug code in here. I don't have. It's right here. So we'll do vehicles destroyed in transit. Right. Transit. There we are. Scout team killed. Okay. Wonderful. Made to staging area. Okay, so this is the check to go to see how far they are from the front line we're trying to get them to go to. Okay. I don't think we need this anymore, but we are. I'm going to add this debug in here. Let's put floating text above their head so I can tell what's going on. We're gonna bump all this up by 1. It'll be 1, 2. Okay. Made the staging area. Actually, if this goes like this, it's gonna reactivate that code I just realized. It goes back here and it re-executes this code, doesn't it? Okay, let me let me get rid of these for now. Actually, no. What I can do is take this and put it in the action slot here. Delete that. So look how fast you can change these. Condition, I can take this. Put it both in here, like that, and delete that. That way this can bounce back in there as much as it needs. Delete this. Well, I don't see the code in here now. What the hell? Until it breaks like that, huh? What did I do with that code? Virtual time, right? This code goes in here. Did I put the wrong? Nope, I don't know what I did. Ba, ba, ba. Okay. There. And that should help. So whenever we debug, we have to just put that in the action. Okay. Later. Wonderful. Okay, so once they make it to the staging area, and I'll probably have to come back in here and add, well, we'll see. Add checks for things when they get stuck or something like that, but I can probably do that in a different script too. So we're going to back. So once they make it to the correct area, I don't think we need to do it. Yeah, so now I can actually, I'm getting less code here now because I'm using FSM. Let's make it to the staging area. Okay. So once they make it there, we do another check to see if We might even do this because now we know that they do have a vehicle. If they're down this path, they have a vehicle, right? So then we just take this. I'm gonna take this code and modify it here and break it down. So we take the scout group, the vehicle group, we abort their movements, which I think we already did here. So we can just leave that there. Then pull the closest factory again. Then we tell them to get back to that factory. And then we'll just modify this. I can actually just leave that in there for like that for right now. And then what we do. This is another thing that will spawn to monitor the vehicles to see if they got close enough. And so all I need to do is just do a check. Like if they're less than 15 meters away. From the closest light factory. Then the vehicles are returned. Just put that in here again. Let's do this code. And that will actually return back to here. When the vehicles get returned, and then they are deleted. And then we can add in things in here to add the resources back to the commander. And that'll just be priority 1. We don't even need to do a spawn now there, which is great. And then what we do here, though, need to do is under the action of the distance staging area, we'll put that to the debug code, and then we will, of course, execute this code, and then we'll tell the script to go back, which is wonderful. Okay, then we can get rid of this. And then, again, we need to do another UAV drone check. Let's see. Staging area. What's a minute? I wish there was like a command you could do in the FSM, like once a condition has been met, it just deletes itself. So I could like actually have this not, or edit the state of this condition, so I could like actually get rid of it completely. That way, it actually would be really cool. I don't think you can do that though. I'm gonna delete condition in FSM. No. Okay. Yeah, no, definitely not. What is the preconditions? Precondition, condition, action. Okay. The code is blah blah blah. Okay. Anyway. So made to staging area. So now we need to do a check. So essentially what I need to do here is add a switch here as vehicles returned equals false. Let me just do if it's not. When you do, you either need to use a dialogue to do that, or you need, I don't know, you don't want to do that either. You need to force them to play an animation. That's the only other way I know. No. No, I think you use create dialogue. You can also use the create dialogue and use a create dialogue command. I don't think that matters. Let me open it up. I think you need to do, like, you can do like create dialogue, resource, like empty display or whatever. I think something like that if I remember right. Okay, so this one will only activate once. Once the vehicle's returned, and then we'll have to do the same thing for UAV check. Essentially, if not, UAV check, and that's right. So this will flip, and it will not let the condition run ever again. That way we don't have to create extra states that we don't need. And they can return right back to the staging area here. This is going to be kind of a loop, I'm assuming. We'll see. This thing tells UAV to move forward ahead. And then you should also come down here. So I want these ones to actually, this one I want to execute. Well, 0, 1, what is this 2? Yeah, this will work great. Let's get used. This does not get used right now. Okay, so it's going to be in that FSM part here where they're going to, the scout team now is going to be moving around. We're almost done with the scout team getting in there and checking things out. We're going to make sure that they go combat blue, they're not fighting. This is going to be a mini loop here, essentially until it gets canceled out. Yeah, that's okay. And there's a loop here that they do. So this is going to be changed. So we have to take this. Whoops, what did I just do? Take this code and combine these two together without using loops, because you can't use loops and wait untils and sleeps in a FSM, right? So they're going to start checking around the closest points. This is all going to be in a condition. let's see, of this right here, count navigation array. So we need to define this for sure outside. And we're going to go ahead and give them the waypoint to move to that as well. So this will be like just like this. But then we need to have a check. We'll add it in here. Let's do scouting. Team is now scouting. Okay. I think I should just get rid of. Get rid of that actually. We're going to add a get rid of that. And then in here we should probably add like something like check height timer. It's going to be time plus 2. We'll check every 2 seconds. Okay, so they're going to keep doing this loop until they find a good scouting pause, essentially. Three. Scouting pause not found. 4. Trying to see how to convert this best. So the good pause is if right now it's pretty simple. If they're just higher than the town. Oh, wait. That's a good pause. If they are not. Oh, and we need to make sure that they are. Yep, okay, at their closest point. I'm getting it. Perfect. This worked just great. And then we can actually, so then what we would do, so then we execute this code. In there, get rid of this entirely. We don't need a good position check because we can just do it right in here, this condition. They keep looking, so they gotta get to the point first, and then they check. And then once they found good position. Man, welcome back, Tyler. This is why I use FSMs, it's complicated. So they're gonna keep checking for the UAV. Once they check once in the UAV, they have the UAV. It's golden. I could have added a whole different step in here, but I think I will worry about that later for sure. Yeah, I think this should work just fine. This is good. So once they found a good position, the problem is that yeah, the problem is that the vehicles may not get back. So I move on out of here. Well, let's see. Let's see what happens here. So they found a good. Once they found a good position. Okay. Then we want to hint at that. Scouting. Action. Scouting team found a good position. And now we have some code they're going to do, which is pretty straightforward, using fancy hash maps now to mark targets. Okay. We are almost done with that now. Okay. So what I'm going to do is actually block this off. The rest of this code shouldn't even execute. We'll worry about that later. So we're just getting the scout FSM done now. We're going to test this in the mission actually very soon. So all this for this point right here. Make sure that they found a good position. And then what I will do is still have this check here. Just keep having this check. The vehicles make it back, and we'll see how that runs. Let's just see how this runs. The vehicles returned. This code should go in here actually. So they found a good position. They can add more things here, but then they're going to be kind of idle for there right now. And we'll add in these things here. They'll keep going until the scout team is now dead. And they won't stop. This FSM will exit until scout team is dead. At this point, even if the scout team dies, the attack itself is not fully done, so we won't mark it. So the attack is not exiting here. Okay, but now we need to make sure we do it. Hello. Hi, Matt. Now we just need to make sure that we do it for when they don't have vehicles now. Okay. Nope. Okay. Alright, so then we need to get it. So pretty much what we can do is they're gonna move ahead. Hey, we gotta change this. Distance, okay. This actually hooks into here. I'm setting this up now, so this is for if they just don't have a group, if they don't have a vehicle, I mean, they're just going on foot, then we do a lot of the similar things, like this. Oops, I made something weird there. But we don't need to care about vehicles returning, but maybe the UAV, right? Or this. We can do this. And none of this needs to be done. But we could check for the UAV. Okay. And then we do these very same things. So look how fast I can just boop. And then this. Goes up here. And then we do a very similar system structure. So if they found a good spot, then great. If not, they do that. Okay. I'm sure there's errors in here, but I'm kind of at the point where I just want to go forward, and I will actually add oops, we can't do that. We need to add a scout team dead check for both of these states here, so in case the team dies trying to scout, that it exits correctly, and that should be a priority of 100. Okay. Let's just see what happens when we launch this. I'm expecting some errors. We're going to start without a vehicle first. I think the one thing about FSMs though that is a little rough is that if there's an issue here, I don't think I can recompile the FSM. Or can I? Maybe I can. We're going to find out right now. Okay, we're gonna enable Zeus. Oh, hold on, I gotta make it so West and Resistance are not friendly together. There we are. So we're loaded in. We have our wonderful tree here of the scout team, and there will be another condition we'll add here. Right now I'm just seeing if they can get there and scout. And we're going to speed it up. And here's our little debug window I'm going to use. So the towns are getting defined, cities are defined, POIs have been defined, capital is defined. West Commander has been created. He's a support commander. The East Commander is created as Guerrilla. The Resistance Commander was created as PMC style. Okay. So we're in here. Alright, let's see. Enable Zeus here. We're going to go ahead and tell them to create a barracks. Do this so I can see the units. So we can see the blue 4 is over here. We have our, looks like a barracks structure. HQ is slightly out of this little tiny area we set up here. And this is going to be interesting because there's water. So we'll see how this goes. So let's go ahead and spawn them in. Oh, well, here's the first issue. This is something we can easily fix though. I'm not even pointing to the right FSM, so that might help. Something like that maybe. So let's go ahead and begin assault. We're going to recompile that. Try it again. So should we get in a spawn? Where is the barracks? Barracks was here. Okay, we got them to spawn in because they're so close to the enemy zone here, and this is almost a little too far, I think. Oh yeah, it's a little too far, but we'll run with it right now. Oh, we have an error here already, so they're gonna go here to wait pickup. Oh, maybe that's just the wrong. Okay, they're going to the right spot here. But But is there like a debug thing that I... Oh, yeah. The debug is incorrect. This is wrong. We're just gonna get rid of that for now. We're actually going to... I'm gonna see if that works. I'm going to find the... Well, I've changed it, and it's executing FSM, so I've made a change, right? So now if I do that, does it recompile it? Or does it compile these on the mission fly? I want to see. So here's the team. No, I do have to restart the mission for it, really. Alright, I'm actually going to... try compiling the FSM a different way and just seeing if I can modify the FSM on the fly. Just because that'd make it a lot easier to mess with these. Let me pull up this. I think VCOM has something similar that I do. What time is it? I'm streaming for an hour and 40 minutes. I'm gonna go for at least 20 more minutes. Yeah, right here. I was just gonna copy this a little bit. We're gonna add this in here. Close the sim. Woo! We'll call this, let's call Scout Town. And I believe should just work like talking to myself. Should just work like this. Where's the begin assault? There it is. Okay, so then we come in here. Instead of doing execute FSM, we do that. Okay, let's see if that stuck. So if I come to the functions, FSM, oh. Okay. Wait, can I, let's test this. I go down this function. Scout Town. Yep. So just recompiled it. I mean, let's see. You're using mouse button down? Oh, okay. Oh, we're down here now. Okay. So Zeus. Now hit the spawn button. Let's see what happens. Oh man, what is something to fix? They're all. I have to get the structures to not spawn so close to the road. Sometimes they work out good, sometimes they do not. I'll do like a size check on the buildings. But right now I'm just gonna help move these AI. Because this is a disaster for us, like say, vehicles. Just run right into that. Okay. This is a bit better. So they're gonna run to the staging area here. Damn, this looks fine. I'm gonna have to do like a sliding kind of result. A linear progression depending on the size of the town. As you can see, the town has some defenses that spawned and no troops yet. These defenses are right now just all testing defenses. Like in the beginning of the game, actual game, there won't be any static weapons or anything like that because resistance you have to build them up. So like if you hover over a town here, you can see that its reinforced percent is 0, its supply line is 0, has a size and has manpower, how much, and these are the resources it gives. And right now it has steel, fuel, and income, but I'm going to reduce that later, just to resources. Yeah, I'm just going to simplify that for right now. Bigger towns get more resources. So. Yeah, reduce that. But you can see that the reinforced percent is 0, supply line is 0, so when you go to attack this, there won't be, it'll be just infantry in the beginning until they start supplying these towns. Alright, so let's go ahead and see. I'm going to help this squad. Yeah, I'm just going to kind of... Wait, where are we going? Oh, too close, too close, too close. Hold on. Right there. Oh, okay, we got an error. This is one downside to FSMs is sometimes it gets harder, but I know that they are at... No, I don't think so. Depends on what you're doing. Because it'll return the exact position, typically. So I think usually I don't. I can't remember actually. Maybe you do need safe zones. Okay, so we have an error up here. It says leader scout group. It's this right here. We have an error here. It says town pause select 2. Okay, so is there a time variable in the square town pause? And I know this is this right here. So we don't define the town pause. No, I thought we defined that. What we're gonna do is I'm actually gonna delete that team. And that, how do I define the town pause down here? Do I not do that? No. Where do I define the town pause? Not there either. Well, there's another way to define that really quick. Just right click, open with, choose another app. There we go. Town pause. Okay. Yeah, I don't define that anywhere. That's an issue. Okay. Whoops. We'll do that here, I guess. Private town pause equals get pause every town. Oops. Town pause. Okay, now we're going to see if I can recompile this on the fly or if I have to restart every time. Which there are some other workarounds around that, they're just not, they're just a little more annoying. So I'm going to put a system chat. I'm going to come into here, I'm going to recompile this. Going to Execute that. Delete these guys right now. Nope, I did not get the system chat message. I want to ask someone really quick about this. It doesn't look like it, but I should get the same error here. Yeah, darn. So we do gotta back out. I don't have to back out all the way, we just back out to, well. Let's see if the random internet knows this. I think you can't, but that's okay. Alright, so we have a town here with some water. We have, oh, is the barracks down here? The barracks is here, so here's the squad. And they're probably going to go right through here, and I'll go ahead and enable that. So they're wandering their way there. We're going to cheat again, push them closer. And we get still the same error. It's I've had this issue before with FSMs. Oh no. I set this as the default. Oops. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I just recompiled it there. And just to be safe, I'll also recompile it here. I didn't even hit the recompile all button. We're just gonna shotgun blast it. And we are going to execute that code again. Because if we can recompile this in mission, that's great. But I'm looking at this now, we have it right here. Oh, where'd it go? Why don't I see it? What? Am I blind? I don't think I... What? I don't think I saved it. Oh no. Did I put it in here? I did not. I thought I did. Whoops. Okay. It is town pause. Okay. Town pause equals enemy town. Oops. I'm like all confused now, so I'm making these silly mistakes. Ooh, that's not what we want to click on. Okay, so this definitely won't work because it's not even in the FSM. I don't know how I manage that. Okay, and then if we go back up to here, yeah. So we're gonna hit save. We're even gonna hit compile. Okay, and we're gonna come into here and I'm gonna hit recompile selected, recompile all. It's hitting all the buttons. And we're gonna try again. Delete the squad. Okay, it looks like you can't recompile during the mission. That is a big shame. So I'm gonna hit that, I'm gonna hit that, I'm gonna make sure that I compile this. Save, I'm gonna close that out. Just make sure it's in there. Okay, there's an underscore town pause. Alright. Play. I'm actually going to... no, I'll just... We're down here again. Okay. You know, I'll execute this one at a time. I was thinking I'll combine them together, but that would cause issues. Alright. So we got a squad going. I'll do the same thing just to save time. I'm going to teleport them up. Okay, now we got another error here. Closest point. It looks like there's almost some code that got left out somewhere. So that's happening over here. Now I thought one of these areas I had to find all these, didn't I? So this is going to be after the distance to staging area. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, this is after they... This is this right here. So this we forgot to put in here. This also needs to be in there. And this can also, yeah, reset it. Okay, so that's the issue. Fortunately, Or continue. I want to see what happens if we just hit OK from here. I am really curious. But I bet you have to exit all the way. Be my guess. Even though this updates in here, it doesn't update in the game, I think. So, create structure, capture targets, enable Zeus. I guess I can see things faster. Okay. Oh, this is always an interesting one. Okay, that did make units. Okay. So they should be spawning from like here. There they are. Oh, they can make it to the point without having to cross the water. Okay. Yeah. Dang. Alright. See if we can get them to these smart targets, and then definitely gonna take a break. Yeah, my doggy. My dog coming. One of my dogs coming to look at me here. Well, hi. The goal is to kind of just get a good amount of work done consistently every day. Well, not every day, but you know, when I have time, as my work schedule permits. Okay. Create structure. Capture the targets. Enable Zeus. Just so I can see, speed it up. We're down here now. Good, good, good. Alright, you come with me. Boop. Oh, we still get that error. But we make the closest point here. Okay, so what we're gonna do is actually look at this debug here. Oh, I think a part of the issue is that we're referencing. Yeah, referencing this, and that doesn't exist. So I think that probably errored out, and then execute this code. So I'm actually gonna put this code up here. That's gonna be my guess is what's happening. I bet that's what's happening. Okay, another try. This is the downside of FSMs. Having to recompile the mission every time. Doesn't take too long, fortunately. Create the structure. Then capture a target. Enable that. And let's see what's down here. Okay. Getting faster. Remove this guy. Okay. So that fixed it, and now we're seeing the message here that the scouting team is now scouting. And it looks like they're looking for, I'll speed the rest of these guys up here. They're kind of looking for a good spot to set up in the woods, it looks like, where they can do some recon. And yeah, I kind of just ignore trees right now. Yeah, these guys face like the direction of the road, I think. Something like that. Even just random. Here's a squad here. Okay, so let's go ahead and see. What happens once it gets close to that point. Okay, they found a good position. And then we can look at the map. down here. And I can see that, oh yep, there we go. They have found, if you hover a mouse over the map, you can see there's some targets now that got picked up, some statics. And some infantry here. Good. So they're spotting some targets, and we'll work with their positioning. But later, as we'll make them kind of get low and get as close as they can without being seen. Okay. Hey, so we got the scouting team to move up. Now the next thing I'm going to do is now with this information, the scouting teams need to be able to relay that information back and then have the commander respond. This kind. So we'll do one. Let's do, just to see, for the last test. I'm not going to fix anything right now, but we're going to create another structure. So we created the light factory. Now this area looks like it would be a disaster, so let's figure out how this is going to work. I'm going to tell them to re-attack that town, delete these guys. Now, if this is not a disaster, I don't see vehicles working very well in this terrain, so we're definitely going to have to figure that one out. But we can see that so far, it's working okay-ish. That these are waiting pickup, really they're getting told to move. Reason for that is that the less movement the vehicles have to do, the better. So this is part of the virtualized system. I'm going to speed these up here. I'm going to actually move them closer. So they're going to actually get to the vehicles. Right now there's no animations played or anything. They just kind of run in and they get virtualized. You will see them at least hop in before they do that eventually. And then these vehicles get told to move up. So it's going to follow. Okay, good. Let's see if I can make that actually. I'm so surprised. Well, they didn't hit that object. That's a good start. That one did. So there they go. That's where we're supposed to be going. Wow, I can't believe I actually found the spot to go. Oh! I am legitimately impressed by that. Okay. Now here's a problem. I know how to manually fix this right now, but I have to fix this. Maybe I'll put them here. That's RTB. These guys are still virtualized, unfortunately. Okay, we found an issue. Because these guys, when those guys drove up, they should have been dropped off. But they are virtualized. So, let's go and see what the... Okay. Looking, okay. So I don't know how this guy gets. Like, why did he not? Oh, it's because the AI are there. He got scared of him. Yeah, I'm scared with the AI. Okay, let's fix that really quick. Okay, there we go. Oh. It's almost like I broke them. They're gonna need some. They're gonna need some help, I think. But they were able to do that. So most of that actually worked really well. did get hung up in one part, so we're definitely going to have to figure all that out. Looks like they did get hung up in one part, so. Have to change some of these debug text too. Okay. That's a good start. And these vehicles are returning, but they won't despawn because I just killed the other squad. Okay. So that's a good start. That was 2 hours of streaming. Thanks to anyone who showed up for any of that or watched this in the future. I'm going to get some food and take a break from the computer for a minute. I'm gonna keep working on this. So when I get back, I might do some more. I might play some games and work on this a little bit later tonight. We'll see. Okay. Thanks everyone. Take it all easy. Oh, this is all fancy, but how do I stop the stream? I think I have to use the YouTube button. Oh, this is so different now. I mean, I got a new computer and everything's all different. So you can do it all from OBS. Oh, it's an exit button. I'm gonna hit that button. Never, Jock. You're never getting it.